David here with Cartoon Fortress. So happy to have you here on the channel with me today. I've got an exciting unboxing video for you, one that I've definitely been anticipating and I know a lot of collectors have. This comes to us from Arrow Academy, which is of course a line of Arrow films, just like Arrow Video. Now Arrow Video, for those that aren't aware of Arrow films in general, Arrow Video tends to release more horror films or kind of B movies, whereas Arrow Academy, they tend to release more art house type films or films that are maybe more in line with something that a label like Criterion would release. Now the release that we're going to be looking at today is a French film, which actually is kind of a moot point because it's actually a silent film. And this comes all the way back from 1902, so I think this is actually the oldest film now in my personal collection. And what are we talking about? We are talking about George Méliès's A Trip to the Moon. And this is the limited edition set, and it's pretty cool because not only do we get A Trip to the Moon, but we get the Extraordinary Voyage, which is a documentary that examines the kind of impact of a trip to the moon and kind of its legacy and kind of a look back at the film industry as a whole. Now it should be mentioned here that A Trip to the Moon is not a feature-length film. It's actually a short film that comes in at a runtime of a whopping 12 minutes. So this is one that I actually plan on showing my kids, watching with them. I know that I can at least keep their attention for 12 minutes. But then to have the documentary to watch as well is just fantastic. And there are some other supplements in here that will be great as well. And we'll go ahead and look over those here in a minute. Now, something that I do want to mention here is that this limited edition set is very limited. They are restricting this to a print run of 1,000 units. So this will go out of print, I think, rather quickly. So as I always say, if this is something that you're interested in, I know at time of filming this video, it is still in stock. I would not be surprised at all if that changes very soon. So again, if this is something that you're interested in, definitely go. I'll drop a link down in the description so that you can go right to Arrow's site and make that purchase. Now, this is not a cheap item here. I believe, now I had this imported here to the US, and I want to say that out the door it was probably around 80 US dollars. So definitely not cheap, but we get some really great things here. So obviously A Trip to the Moon and then the documentary, but also included here is the autobiography of George Méliès, which previous to this set here, his autobiography was not available with an English translation. So this is the first time that that's being offered, and it's being given to us here in a nice hardback or hardbound edition. So definitely excited to jump into that and kind of get my Méliès education, if you will. But yeah, so there's a lot to offer here with this set. Yes, it does carry the heavier price tag, but in my opinion, obviously because I bought it, it's definitely a worthy purchase. So we'll go ahead and cut to the other camera now so we can get this unboxed and take a look at this gorgeous set and what it has to offer on the inside. Okay, so here is the set. As you can see, this is a larger box set. This is by no means a standard size set here. And if you watched previously on the channel, I recently unboxed the Arrow Films, or Arrow Academy rather, edition of The Game with Michael Douglas. This set is actually a little bit bigger than even that set was. So, you know, definitely make room on the shelf because it's going to take up a bit of space for you. But let's go ahead and unbox this. I'm going to go ahead and remove the shrink wrap here. And I love the cover art we get here. A very iconic image here One that even if you haven't seen the film, it's just one of those instantly recognizable images, I feel like. But anyways, yeah, so nothing embossed, but it does have a nice, we'll go ahead and actually just let the J card go. It's not being kept on by any of the sticky, goopy stuff that it usually is, but which is actually nice. But looking close here, it looks textured. It's actually just a smooth surface, but I do like the kind of texture that gives off, or the pattern kind of behind the image. But here we have a really great looking cover, and then we get the name of the film, obviously, and then, like I said, it does include The Extraordinary Voyage. And backing up here is a look at the spine, and then here's the contents. So here's our autobiography, and then I believe the disc is going to be housed in this second part right here. And then on the back we have absolutely nothing. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the contents inside here. So it looks like we have the book is shrink wrapped as well. All right, and it's a nice hardbound box that we get here. Sorry, trying to do my best here to fit everything in frame. With the book shrink wrapped and everything, let's go ahead and actually take a look at the film first. And oops, unfortunately we have a floating disc here. Luckily, it's a Blu-ray, so they're a lot more scratch resistant. To be honest, a little underwhelming on the packaging here for the actual Blu-ray disc. Just a very thin kind of piece of cardboard here. It is nice though that we do get the kind of the same information that's on the J card just on here. And so in fact, instead of showing the J card, we'll just go ahead and take a look at this. If you want to pause at any moment here, go ahead and do so and read up on the synopsis on the film, and then also the limited edition contents, supplements, and everything else on here. Now, I don't see any indication on here as to whether this is a region B release or if it's region free. I'm hoping that this is actually a region free release, which would be nice. But no indication that I can see on here that says either way. There's some brief information about the restoration and then production credits. But yeah, just kind of a flimsy piece of cardboard here. And then again, our disc is on the inside. It almost feels like they could have maybe just come up with a little slot for it in the actual hardbound or hardback autobiography, but either way, it has its own separate housing. And here is the disc and the disc art here. And so it's just the single disc here. We'll go ahead and place that back inside, make sure it's snug. So that's something to be mindful of, is, you know, my disc had kind of popped out of its place, and seemed like that might be kind of easy to do. But all right, so let's go ahead, and I am actually going to pull out my pocket knife here to get into the shrink wrap. This shrink wrap here appears to be a little bit more rigid. Excellent. So we actually have a, wow, this is really nice. We actually have a cloth bound book here. So this is very, very premium feeling. A much different feel than the little piece of cardboard that's holding the Blu-ray disc. And this is very textured, including the moon on the cover here and the book. So it is a cloth book, and then the material used here for the image, it's actually a little bit, I don't know how much it's going to come across on screen here, but it does have a little bit of a glossy quality to it, and it is this nice silver color, so very, very cool. And then looking at the back here, again, you can go ahead and pause if you want to read the contents on the back of the book. And then at the bottom there you have some websites that you can reference. Looks like there's a site dedicated to Georges Méliès. All right, and then let's go ahead and scoot this box out of frame here. And let's take a look at least a little bit of the book here. All right, same iconic image there. All right, so here we have the long-lost autobiography of Georges Méliès, father of sci-fi and fantasy cinema, by, of course, Georges Méliès, because this is an autobiography. And then looks like this is an illustrated book. Looks like Lucy Collin contributed the illustrations, and then English translation by Ian Nixon, and then design and layout by Simon Minter. All right, so yeah, so this is over 200 pages. So we have the introduction, life and work, interviews, and in closing. I even like the type on here. Is the font is really, really cool. Great images here. And yeah, we'll look through this a little bit. So here we have the introduction. I like these little illustrations that they're including, kind of minimalist style of art. That's fun to have here throughout the book. And we'll go ahead, as this is over 200 pages long, we'll kind of flip quickly through this so you kind of get an idea of what to expect. But just very excited to read through this and kind of further my education on Georges Méliès and kind of understand who he was as a person and as a filmmaker, and just a lot to get into here. And then some interviews in the back, some thanks, and then the bibliography, and a final drawing there, and then about the authors. So really, really great book here. And again, just I can't speak highly enough to the quality of this book. It just feels instantly premium, kind of when you're handling it, and just the care that went into this is very obvious. So we'll go ahead and place the book back in there, and the book obviously takes up most of the room, and then just our little cardboard insert there with the Blu-ray disc, and that all fits together nicely. So a really beautiful edition here by Arrow Academy. Yes, I would have tweaked a little bit on how they housed the Blu-ray disc. That seems like an area they definitely could have improved on, but as a whole, it's really hard to be anything but just very pleased with the set that we get here. So this is Georges Méliès' A Trip to the Moon, the limited to 1,000 copies, limited edition from Arrow Academy, and gets a big thumbs up from me. All right, everybody, thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. I do greatly appreciate it. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if this is an edition that you're going to be picking up. Let me know if you've seen the film, what your thoughts are. I love the community that we have here, and I always love reading your comments. If you are new to the channel and you found this video helpful or entertaining in any way, I invite you to hit that subscribe button. If you like unboxing videos or just talking film in general, this is definitely a channel that would be a good fit for you, and I do like reading comments and kind of continuing the conversation down below. So definitely hit that subscribe button and also the like button, as well as the bell icon. That will notify you when I upload videos in the future. And until next time, this is David signing off with Cartoon Fortress, and I hope you have an awesome day.